Hey guys, how's it going? If you watched my other video, you saw that I was working with this new gold sluice that I bought. It's the Gold Hog Piglet. I ran some dirt through it that I had dug out of the desert in Lake Havasu City, so there's no guarantee that there's any gold in it. I ran through the dirt through the gold sluice. I've cleaned it out, and I kind of broke it up into two things. In the Piglet, as I discussed before, there's this little area that is like where the concentrates collect in the hog moss is what they call it. And then I also did where the sluice mat is, I did that in a separate bucket. So right now I have the concentrates in my homemade blue bowl. I'm going to show you that right now. So here's my homemade blue bowl. I decided to make a homemade one. It's just made out of an oil pan, drip pan, and then a funnel that I cut off. I used some epoxy to seal that funnel in there, and then I got some hose, wrapped it around there, and it's in that tub with a little, it's a pond pump. It's just a real small one. It's only like I think it's like maybe like a 300 gallon per hour pump. It's probably less than that actually. But I did it this way because I didn't really see the need to buy a blue bowl and spend $100 when I could just go to the parts store, Ace Hardware, Home Depot, Lowe's, and get the parts for this for it's like, I don't remember what I paid. I think I paid like maybe like 30 bucks for all these parts, and I was able to put it together. So we're gonna go ahead and plug this in, and I'll show you how it works. There is actually a little piece of gold. I'll try and show that to you. And again, like I said, this was dirt pulled out of the desert in Lake Havasu City in a wash, bison wash. If any of you know that area, that's there's been known for people to go up there and dry wash for gold and bring gold buckets of dirt back home and find gold. So I tried it a little bit and I found a little piece of gold. See if I can show that to you. And it's right there. You can kind of see it. I'll try and point it out to you. So it's right there at the tip of that shadow. That's where it's just that small speck of gold. I'll try and zoom in on it for you. So you can see it right there. Oh, I'm getting in the shadow in there. See, there's that little speck of gold right there. Not much. It's not gonna weigh up to anything. Honestly, it's probably not even worth picking out of there. It's such a small little flake of gold. It's almost like gold dust in there. But I'm going to turn this pump on, show you how it works. And you can see how this blue bowl works. Like I said, it's just a homemade one. So obviously it's not as effective as if you were to go out and buy one yourself, but this gets the job done. So you can see the water starting to build up there and moving rocks around. There we go. It's just going over the top there. So basically that's the gist of it, is that it creates like a vortex. And it sucks the lighter material, that brown sand, it sucks that up the funnel and drips it down into the bottom into that big bucket down there. So you let this run for a while. As you can see, some of the material is kind of circulating around there, getting caught in that vortex. So I just let this run for a while. And I have tested this out with bigger pieces of gold that I have collected and found. So I know this does work. The gold gets left behind. As you can see, saw that small speck of gold that was up here. This pump was running for about, I don't know, probably 2 hours with this going. And the gold was still there. So I know that it catches real fine gold. It works really well. Like I said, I did this because I didn't see the need to go out and buy like a $100 blue bowl or $150 blue bowl. I forget how much they are. It's been a while since I looked. Just because this works, and honestly, I don't see a need to, you know, fix something that's not broke. So that's the lube bowl. Like I said, that's just the concentrates that were found right in here of the sluice. And you see I cleaned it out. Nice and clean in there. Got some dirty water from running the sluice. So I like to let that water sit for a few days so it can kind of, you know, everything settles down on the bottom. And I'll start running stuff again. What I like is I used to run like a 2-bucket system that's kind of like this. You can see how dirty this water is over here. Sorry if that glare is really bad. So you can see how this water over here is kind of like a little, you can see how murky it is. You know, because obviously it's sucking the water up from over here, taking it over this one. I was running a 2-bucket system before. So obviously the water that I was getting in my through my sluice was dirty, and then when I go to do this blue bowl, I just dropped that little pond pump in one of these, and it was pumping dirty water in there. As you can see, like, this water is fairly clear. I mean, obviously it's not 100% clear, but it is working. With this 3-bucket system now, the water is a little bit clearer once it gets to this bucket because it doesn't have all that dirt from the sluice running. So when I drop that pond pump in here and run this blue bowl, it's a little bit clearer water, so I can actually see the material getting sucked up that funnel. I can see any gold pieces that are getting left behind. I like this system a lot. It's really easy to set this up. It's basically just like a siphon that's run with these PVC pipes. You know, they're really easy to set up. You just fill them full of water, put both ends in the buckets of water to make sure that the suction's there and it starts working. So this bucket right here is the bucket that contains all of the material that came from in here. So this, like I said, I pulled this mat out. It just slides right out the bottom there. I took that mat and I washed it in this bucket, and I dumped out the water. And then, as you can see, what's left is that dirt that's down in there. So that's the concentrates left from my sluice box right here, down into that bucket. So once this blue bowl is done working this material, I'll look through it, see if there's any gold. A lot of times I'll actually pan whatever's left in this to try and get, you know, those smaller pieces that kind of work my way through this material in here, because this, you know, classifies it down real fine. I don't have a big classifier for my material. I wish I did. I got some on order. That way I can classify my material down even more before I put it in here and let this thing do its job. It's supposed to be able to, you know, take everything down to black sand and gold. So right now it struggles because got a little bit bigger material in there than what I really need. But like I said, I got some classifiers on order. So once they show up, I'll be able to put finer material in there and that way it'll be able to do the job like it's supposed to. This bucket over here has got a little bit bigger material than what was in the blue bowl right now. So once I get my classifiers, I'll classify this stuff down, pan through it, see if anything came through and is in there. Really, I'm not expecting any gold flakes to be in there. They should have all been in that hog moss, which is back here. So if you remember, everything that was back here is in the blue bowl. So this stuff should have been caught back here. Here's a little flap. It's kind of hard to see with the lighting, but there's a flap right here that prevents a lot of those gold pieces. There you can see that flap. That prevents a lot of those gold pieces from coming down through the sluice here. So a lot of your nuggets, if you have nuggets, they're all going to be trapped up there. You shouldn't find any nuggets down here. Really, if you find anything down here, it's going to be real small pieces of gold, almost not even worth picking out just because they're so small. But they're not really going to weigh anything. So yeah, that's my setup. This is how it's ran. You guys watch the other video to see me running it. This is the cleanup. Once I get everything cleaned up, I'll show you guys what I found, if I found anything. It's probably not really going to be anything worth mentioning just because it's going to be so fine. But yeah, so that's that. If you guys remember, I originally had a homemade sluice and high banker setup. Bought this setup. So far, I really like it. Can't wait to actually take this and use it on some real pay dirt. I plan on going up to Prescott or Prescott, depends on how you say it, where you're from in Arizona. But I'm gonna go up there. I'm gonna pan for some gold, see what I can find, and then maybe bring some back here, run it through my sluice, and see if I can get any bigger pieces from up there. You know, hopefully I find some pans with some colors in them, and then I know where to dig for some buckets, and that way maybe we'll bring some buckets back home, running through my sluice and start catching gold. So until next time, guys, stay safe and good luck prospecting.